I hope everybody's having a good day, evening, night, wherever you're at today. Excuse me. I just wanted to come to you one more time before this year ends. And we should probably be going live again on the 31st, bringing in the new year with the New Year's Eve service. But I just wanted to catch up with you guys and give you one more video before the year is over. And today is the 30th Friday of December. And I wanted to talk to you about some things that they are trying to put together in 2023 to go forward with. These things were discussed in 2022. They actually been already and planned years before that. Our guy who's always been banned and number one to be banned, Alex Jones, has been yelling about this for years. So now that they're talking about this stuff, it's not a conspiracy anymore. And I'm going to show you some video clips here. I'm going to show you a few of them just so you can kind of see what's going on to put some weight to what I'm saying. But, you have a lot of things, again, that the enemy may try to implement, but nothing can go forward unless God says so or allows it to happen. That's the thing. So as long as we're here, then we got to be praying. And so let me just show you some stuff here happening real quick. We don't have to live in fear, but trust God. But this is what they're talking about doing in 2023. And it may fall through, just like some of their other agendas. But check this out. So this is at the website that says, "Now the end begins." And so it's a big story. Get ready for the 15-minute city from the World Economic Forum. Right there, that raises a red flag. But read on. That just may make you a prisoner of the new climate change zones they're creating. Okay, so the World Economic Forum, headed up by Klaus Schwab. He has one of his right-hand guys named Yuval Harari, who talks about depopulation, just like the other globalist elitists, and all these other agendas that they want to push. This is why they love Bill Gates and his meat that is fake, that he's bought all this land for farmland in America so they could produce a lot of this stuff and sneak it in to your food and your meats coming to a grocery store near you. So these climate zones is what they want to create, these change zones because of climate. And they want to in 2022, the person who was in charge, Antonio Gutierrez, over the United Nations, he said that he wants, now it's time to start locking down the people over the climate. And so did the other weirdo at the WHO, say that we need to look into locking down people over the climate. So it wasn't enough to lock down people over coronavirus, but now they got to come up with their next scamdemic. Not next scamdemic, next pandemic or plandemic. And so, the devil is always looking for something, and these are his agents that he'll continuously use. But the World Economic Forum is a bunch of people who are non-elected leaders. They haven't been elected, but wants world power, just like the United Nations, to control and run your country, your city. And that's why they want, the WHO to be in charge of your health and call for all of these different pandemics so they can lock you down, lock you up, and have all access to your information. And so they also are in charge of putting in puppet leaders for these puppet regimes to be over a country near you. So this is what they want to do. Right here it says, World Economic Forum is in the process of enabling climate lockdowns, with Melbourne and Paris the testing grounds of 15-minute cities. Vehicles will be banned and you must stay within a 15-minute ride radius. Think about that. So they want you to stay within a 15-minute ride radius. If your grandma lives 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, your mother-in-law lives 50 minutes away, you can't go. You got to stay locked down in your area because we got to save and preserve the climate. And there's a certain side in the political field here that loves those terms, and they're just so woke and just love that. But they don't want to be locked down. You can't lock them down. No. Carbon emissions. That's what this ESG social credit score is about. So you can, this is what they want to pass here, ESG, which means environmental, social, and governance, just like they have in China. This is why a lot of the leaders and Klaus Schwab and all of them say, oh yeah, we just love China. We need to model things after China and do what they do, because with this ESG credit scoring, that means all your basic credit bureaus goes away. Experian, Equifax, and one more, I say it all the time. They're on the tip of my tongue. But all of those go away, and it will just be the government that controls this. Now, they want to have a test pilot. Right now, they're doing test pilots for CBDC, which means Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC. And already 90 countries are doing test pilots. Think about that. To test and see how it will work where central banks are established. Then there's 11 that's already adopted it. Think about that. So if you don't talk right and say what the government wants you to say, if you're not a good boy or a good girl and you fall out of line, the government can cut off your money just like that, because it's controlled by them. And it's easier than forcing a bank to close your account via the government or through the government. Watch this. So, as I was saying, you can't even make this up. This is what they want. They want control. They want power. They want to lock you down. This is not about helping you. This is not about your safety. This is not about your security. This is about total tyranny. And the reason, my thing is this. Anybody, any country, any state, any nation, whatever, any continent that wants to allow these things to happen and just bow down to unelected leaders, people who have not been elected, to just have some power from far and beyond to say to tell their presidents and their prime ministers what we should do, what's best for us. If they bow down and acquiesce to that, then they deserve what they get. If they want tyranny, they love it, then they can have it. But I'm not. I'm not bound down to any unelected leader, and I hope you won't either. And I want you guys to see this real quick about the CBDC.
Get ready for a digital dollar. And it's not the digital. that all these people out here think that it is. Because the digital that you've been accustomed to knowing is not digital connected to a blockchain. And that is exactly what is coming right around the corner. I've been warning about this since 2017, yet it's coming like a freight train, and it seems there's not much anyone's going to do to stop it here. As the CBDCs are being rolled out by the central banks around the globe, this means that every transaction that you make is tracked on blockchain. Your privacy is gone forever. There is no more hiding money under the mattress, in the safe, burying it, none of it. It will all be tracked and traced by the beast establishment. And we've been warning you forever, and it's about to pop off. Right here in front of everyone, we've got Citi and Wells Fargo among some of the major banks here participating in a 12-week test run. And this is to network for digital dollars. And they're going to start to settle things and transactions on this distributed ledger. All practice, if you will, here. And they're saying that a Federal Reserve Bank of New York unit will partner with about a dozen of these banks to test the digital dollar.
That was Dabu77. And yeah, you know, this is something that they are forging ahead for because they want a new world order. Oh, how many times have you heard that saying? A new world order? One world religion? How many have you not heard the Pope say many times, or research it yourself? We need a one world order. We need one world leader. We need a one world religion. But now it's like these globalists and these Luciferians, which they are, these elite snakes and vipers, they are becoming more emboldened and brave on what they want to push, which is their master Satan's agenda. And so this is what they're doing, and they don't care that they sold their souls. They don't care that they're on their way to hell. There are those who have thrown their lots in with Satan, and some of these even talk with to have the power and the leadership that they do communicate with fallen angels and some of the secrets and the technologies that they have. They communicate with some strong spirits now operating in this earth that are straight servants of Satan. And so, but they're having these world conferences and these meetings, asking, like for instance, one of the many, you have Davos, again, headed up by World Economic Forum. You have the United Nations and the Trilateral Commission. You have the World Government Summit, which is another off branch, and they bring all these leaders together that are in unison for a one world agenda. So watch as they also you have the G20, which they closed that up, and watch what they talk about. But watch this video from the World Government, just a snippet of it. World Government Summit, and watch the question that she asks.
Your Excellency, are you ready for a new world order?
I think, Becky, the main problem is, if you think of the technology is 21st century, 22nd century technology. What is happening in AI, what is happening everywhere really that will really transform and is transforming our lives and also transforming international relations. But I think the frame of thinking is still 19th century. I think this is one of the problems that we have in the international system. Where if you look, it's still about nationalism, it's still about state sovereignty, it's still about use of force or non-use of force. And I think this is one of the major issues as we try to bridge really what is mentally, governing international relations with the 19th century mode of thinking, but at the same time with technology fast ahead of us in the curve. That, I think, will be a major problem.
That's a very interesting perspective. Fred Kemp, your assessment.
So my mentor on issues of world order is Henry Kissinger, so I'll try to channel him.
Notice that
And
Henry
forgive me, Dr.
Kissinger,
But his
big
answer would be,
globalist.
what do you mean no new world order? We have not had a world order yet. What we've had is we've had a Western order that was imposed on the world. And so the first world order in modern times, or somewhat modern times, was 4 centuries ago with the Treaty of Westphalia, ending a century of conflict, the 30 Years' War. And it wasn't a great moral thrust, it was just recognizing the world as it was. If you look at what we're trying to create right now, where I would say at an inflection point in history, as important as the end of World War I, where we got the effort of world order tragically wrong, we ended up.
Well, Henry Kissinger is one of those former secretaries of state under Nixon, and we all know how that went with Nixon. But he was straight connected to the Rockefellers. He knows where he got the keys to the Dark Kingdom. He knows where all the dead bodies are and knows the secrets. And he's still alive today in his 90s. He has not passed away yet, but hell is waiting on him. He can change course even through all that dirt and evil he's done and give his life to Christ if he repents, but that's up to him. But he said this famous quote right here, one of many, and it was actually he who, but who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control whole continents. Who controls money can control the world. And we already see what that's going on with energy. Look at energy. Look at all around the world what's happening. If you don't know, because CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and them, they're not telling you. They're not telling you. But you see whatever they're putting in front of your face. You always have to be aware of what they're not telling you. See, they're always trying to show you something, and they're trying to show you from their own point of view or narrative or perspective. But so they can keep this in front of you to distract you from what's really going on. But look at the food chain. Look at all these things going on with the food, being bought up, farmland being bought up. Thousands of animals being told to be destroyed or being destroyed by governments, and farming being shut down in Netherlands and the UK and all these other areas of the world. And the United Nations talking about all these food is, famine is going to be beyond epic proportions. I mean, it's crazy. And gas shortages and all these other shortages and water shortages and food hikes. And I mean, they're saying they're running out of this and that, and it's all by design. The thing is. And so think about that. So who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control the continents. Who controls the money can control the world. And so you look at energy too, and they keep talking about attacks on a power grid, all these food processing plants being destroyed. The media is not talking about that. And it's on record. It's logged. The FBI is dealing with this, but FBI is criminal and crooked as the CIA too. So how much of it are they really dealing with? And think about it. A lot of times, how many times have the FBI and the CIA got caught as the ones being the perpetrators and behind a lot of these things going on now, taking place? Because they're dirty and corrupt, and they need to be cleaned or disbanded or dismantled. So, or start from the ground up. But, it's funny. Nobody's ever got caught yet, but they're still searching. But they can catch somebody, in a quick second when it comes to some other crime. But they still haven't found who's messing with the power grids. It's all by design, folks. But just remember this. God is in control. Yes, he is. So what else is on their agenda? I'm going to go ahead and let you hear this introduction because I think you need to hear it because it's validating what I'm saying. And this is the Next News Network.
Things are getting a bit crazy with world leaders now publicly calling for a one world government. Thanks for watching Next News Network. I'm Ivory Hecker filling in from my YouTube. That's Ivory Hecker on YouTube. Your freedom's at stake. Get the news that impacts America. Tap subscribe to preserve it. All right, for years we have raised the alarm of the globalist takeover of the world and their continued attack against American sovereignty. Well, now those alarms that we've been raising are confirmed, as they are now publicly calling for a one world government. We Love Trump reports this month's final World Summit in the region was held in Thailand on Friday, with French President Emmanuel Macron speaking. Despite France not being a member of APEC, Macron spoke at the Bangkok summit. During his speech, Macron called for a new global order. Watch.
Are you on the US and the Chinese side? Because now, progressively, a lot of people would like to see there are two orders in this world. This is a huge mistake, even for both the US and China. We need a single global order.
Yep, that's what we need. We need a one world order, a one world leader, and you know they're getting ready for their leader, the Antichrist. All right, he's getting ready to walk on the stage, and I'm telling you, it's all getting set up little by little. It's coming together, and it's moving fast. And let me tell you, this ever since 2020, just been a year of acceleration, and so. You know, they just concluded a few weeks ago, or 3 or 4 weeks ago, the B20, not the G20, but the B20 summit has been concluded in Bali. And so the B20 is the official G20 dialogue forum for the global business community. And so many renowned delegates attended the B20 summit in Indonesia just a little while ago. And so let's see what they're talking about. My goodness, you just got all these sellouts and, cowards. But watch this. What are they talking about? Now, notice he's going to say the next pandemic. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're getting ready to plan the next pandemic.
So let's have a digital health certificate acknowledged by WHO if you have been vaccinated or tested properly, then you can move around. So for the next pandemic, instead of stopping the movement of the people 100%, which clog the economy globally, you can still provide some movement of the people. Indonesia has achieved, G20 country has agreed to have this digital certificate using WHO standard, and we will submit into the next World Health Assembly in Geneva as the revision to international health regulation. So hopefully for the next pandemic, we can still see some movement of the people, some movement of the goods, and movement of the economy.
So hopefully for the next pandemic, we can still see movement of the people and movement of the goods, and the rest what he said. So think about that. And I got more information on that one. I'm going to try to get it together here for another video or so coming down the road. The next pandemic that they're trying to, I'm not talking about just the climate lockdowns and locking people down for the sake of preserving the climate. Everything is going to be blamed on the climate, which is the biggest farce. It only made wealthy elites and, what's his name? Former vice president to Bill Clinton. I say his name all the time, but it's only made them rich, made him mega rich, and others who posed this lie. And so this is the thing that they're wanting to push in 2023. Digital certificates is what they've been trying to get together for quite a while, though. But they're saying now this is the year to get these digital certificates, this CBDC. Biden's going to try to push it by Executive Order 14067. And so I did a video on that. If you go look it up on my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Share these videos. Get this information out there. Knowledge is power. But we don't have to live in fear, but trust God because he's in control. If you don't know the Lord, today's the day to accept him. Jesus Christ died for our sins, and he rose again on the third day, and He died for you and I, and the only way to God, the Father, is through Jesus Christ. There's not many paths. There's only one path to God, and that's through Jesus. And Jesus said in John chapter 14, verse 6, he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And so I challenge you to explore Jesus and learn who he is and accept him today and make him the head of your life, because tomorrow's not promised to us. And we can live 100 years on this earth, just like Henry Kissinger is almost looking at 100. But let me tell you something. If he dies without Christ, 100 years on this earth is nothing compared to eternity. So y'all, see you next time, Lord willing. God bless you and have a safe new year. And Lord willing, see you on the other side in 2023. Blessings.